Hey everybody, it's Chris Kelly with The Flying Nest, and today I'm visiting with Willow Tipton, who is a homeopathic practitioner at Place 360 in Del Mar.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
So we're going to talk about homeopathy. What is it? How can it help us? So I'm going to ask you that question. What is homeopathy?
What is homeopathy? So homeopathy is an actual pretty old art and science. And it's basically based upon the law of similars. And I know that sounds weird, but it's actually applied even to this day. And what it means is if you were to take something in its raw form, give it to a healthy person, it would give you a whole slew of symptoms. Now let's say you have someone who's in dis-ease or imbalanced, and they have a whole symptom picture, a whole bunch of stuff going on. You can match it to that one substance in a diluted form, and it would cure what they got, basically. Okay, so the basis of homeopathy is not only the law of similars, but they're highly dilute, so it makes them very safe. They're made from all sorts of natural substances. And I like to kind of give examples of the law of similars because it's used today in Western medicine for vaccines. And even for allergists, they use it. For allergies, they give you an injection of like the pollen or the actual grass to help your body kind of build up its defenses against it. If we take even a case of like ADHD, they use Ritalin a lot of times. And if you or I were to take it, it would be basically like taking speed. So it kind of revs you up. But give it to someone who's already revved up, it calms them down. Okay. So this whole process of actually diluting and potentizing it, taking it away from its original substance, renders it completely safe. No side effects. And you can use it alongside any other form of treatment, which is also nice.
I think that's a really important thing
for
to
sure.
mention.
For sure.
You can use it in conjunction with your medical doctor, your medicines that you're taking.
For sure, without any contraindications or side effects.
Yeah.
And it's safe for any age. You can be pregnant, nursing, a newborn can take it, and an elderly person or even an animal can take it with no problem.
That is amazing to me. That
it is.
You know, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
To be able to have something available to us that is helpful and can get us over the hump, especially in acute conditions.
For sure.
That is non-toxic.
It's totally non-toxic. You can find it readily at the health food store.
And it's inexpensive.
And it's extremely cheap. Yes.
I mean, when you look at the cost of a copay, let's say, or if you don't have insurance.
Not only that, but like just for a prescription to pay for medication, it's very
And one of these little vials here, what would something like that cost?
Usually if you go to the health food store, one little vial of that is about $8 to $10, I would say. And it's dependent on the potency, of course. You know, the lower potencies are usually less, and the higher potencies are a tiny bit more, but it's more labor-induced, you know, to make the remedy. But you know, you walk out of the door with probably a month's supply, if not longer, for about $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, there is no expiration, is there?
There really isn't. The FDA requires that, I don't know if you've looked at any of the vials, but they require that they put 1 to 2 indications of use, which each remedy, this is the hard part, is homeopathy is so individualized. So we try to match, you know, as much of the symptoms as possible to 1 to 2 remedies, if you can. And the FDA requires that they put just 1 to 2 symptoms on the vial, which can be a little misleading. And the other thing that they have them put is an expiration date. Now, most homeopathic pharmacies like Boron or other companies, they really do pull it off the shelf by the expiration date. But if you take care of them at home, they last for almost ever, I would say.
Because I know I've had remedies for a long time.
Me too. In fact, I've gotten hand-me-downs that are really, really old, and they still work.
Yeah, they work. That's the thing that's so amazing.
Exactly. As long as you don't boil them or, you know, pour some essential oils in there, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
Okay. Well, I think a question that I'm asked a lot is, you know, what would be the basic remedies a person would want in their house?
I like to say the A, B, C's, and sometimes P, and that's a lot of times for like younger kids, okay? But not always. So aconite, I think, is fantastic. That's the A. And aconite is for the first onset, beginning of anything. It can be acute or chronic. But you start sneezing a lot, you start getting a sore throat, you start getting a headache or a tummy ache, aconite is perfect. And it's actually aconitum. I always call it by the short name, which is aconite.
I always say aconite.
You know, all the remedies are given their Latin names. And so, which is actually fantastic. It's hard to pronounce sometimes, but fantastic because you could go anywhere in the world and be able to find it.
Okay.
So aconite is the A. I like to add in another A, which is arnica. And arnica is so popular.
Yes.
I mean, that one and probably Nux vomica flies off the shelves.
Yes.
Because it's like any type of soreness, any overdoing it, any athlete, Anybody should have arnica at home. You bump yourself, you fall, you know, scrapes, anything like that, it'll take care of. And the gel, the topical stuff is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like within minutes, and I run, and so if I start to get shin splints, I'll use it preventatively. I'll put it on before I run, and I won't get shin splints.
That's a great tip.
Now, I do like to say to use both though. Like, you know, if you are an athlete, if you have injured yourself or post-operative, anything like that, use both. One will take care of it pretty acutely and quickly, the gel, and then orally it kind of takes down inflammation and pain from the inside out, so to speak.
And what about, I know there's instances when the kids have gotten an injury where there's a pretty significant bruise, but there's also a cut.
Very good. If there is a cut, do not use the gel.
Right.
It will hurt and it will exasperate it.
It makes it worse.
It makes it worse. So calendula is much better to use if there's an open wound. Now the nice thing about calendula is it's an antiseptic, but it's also soothing and it helps quicken the healing of any tissue, basically. So open wounds, don't use the arnica topically. Use calendula instead.
Can you use the arnica gel on feet?
Oh yeah.
So if you have the injury and with a cut, let's say, we use the calendula, we take the arnica under the tongue, and then we can use the arnica gel potentially on the feet?
For sure. Yeah. Yes, and you can use it like on pulse points or anything else like that. Definitely. Okay. Your skin's your biggest organ.
Yeah.
You know, so keep that in mind. I mean, a newborn baby, if you were to cut open a clove of garlic, rub it on their feet, you'll smell it on their breath within minutes usually. So that's how quick your system of your skin works in your tissue. It travels very quickly. So definitely use it on the feet, use it on your hands or your pulse points. Really good for any trauma.
It's a great tool in the sports toolbox.
Anybody who does sports.
Yeah, anybody who does sports needs to have arnica gel.
For sure. And I love that you have that because you have the arnica cream or gel plus the oral dosage, which is really great.
It's great and it's very economically friendly. And this is on the Flying Nest. You can find this particular product.